What's up everyone, it's Dusty Gogoat. Welcome back to my headcanon. We finally got some new information about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I called up my friend Linky to talk about the new Pokemon, new regional forms, and everything about the Paldea region. We even have some theories about DLC, Kalos, and the longevity of Generation 9. Enjoy the video. What's up Linky? How you doing, man? It's great to see your face, I gotta say that much.
It is good to be here. I'm happy that everyone can see this absolutely beautiful face of mine, finally.
Man, you're glowing right now. You're absolutely glowing.
Oh, yeah.
We can see your avatar poster back there. I gotta say, you need more Pokemon merch. We'll get some more Pokemon
I do.
merch.
We got the, hang on, where is it? We got the Torterra.
That's great. Dude, we have a brand new trailer, and it has been so long since we got any sort of marketing information from the Pokemon Company. You know this, I know this. It's been agonizing. They dropped the new gimmick, new Pokemon, new characters.
We got a ton of new stuff, new forms for old Pokemon, a couple brand new Pokemon, the gimmick for the legendaries, and just the gimmick as a whole, but they didn't show us a ton. We've gotten less than 10 Pokemon at this point, so there's just so many more that we haven't seen.
There is likely going to be around 100, at least 120 new Pokemon in this region, and what's kind of boggling is what you're saying. It's like, they've given us hardly nothing. If that number is true, and these Pokemon that we got today confirm that a lot of that information is true, I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. I'm actually kind of excited because we could start seeing weekly releases of new Pokemon, just like in Generation 7. So that would be good. That's a silver lining. Let's just start with the new Pokemon. Right off the bat, the first one was Fido. This is it's not fluffy. It's like a buttery.
You asked on social media if we could eat it.
It was a question. You know, there's a lot of weird people online. I'm just curious, like in lore. Here's the thing, Linky. I mean, while I've got you on, in lore, like in canon, people in Pokemon eat Pokemon, right?
They do.
The thing is, they don't eat food-based Pokemon, which is like, I'm like, those are the ones I would want to eat. Like that, like if anything, right? This thing looks kind of delicious.
I mean, listen, if we're gonna be eating Fido, then Smoliv better watch out because people are gonna have it in their drinks.
100%, yeah. But so Fido is a fairy type puppy Pokemon, and it is cute, and it's a really cool name. I think the name's like kind of perfect. Like Fido is a common dog name. What'd you think about this thing?
So far, every single I haven't disliked a single design we've gotten so far, and all of the names I think have been solid. Especially this new. I think we got, what did we get? 3 new Pokemon in this trailer? Yeah. Is that really it?
Yeah.
All 3 of them I really like.
The other crazy one was, it's called Cetitan. And this thing is a beast. So it's like a whale. It's got like icicle spikes. It's pure ice type. It's called the Terra Whale Pokemon. So it's a bipedal whale. This is kind of like, okay, there was a rumor people were talking about a bipedal dolphin, and
maybe this could have been what they meant. There could have been a little mix-up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's so weird. I think it's such a really strong design, though. I kind of wish it was Steel type, because I like Steel types. But this thing is like 100% going to be on my team.
I do wonder, it looks like the type of Pokemon that is probably just a one stage. But I can't even begin to imagine if it does evolve. Like, that thing is going to be a beast.
And then, of course, we have this other Pokemon. It's a regional form for Wooper.
I am thrilled.
Yeah, it's honestly like, that's such a, like, it's like a slam dunk of a design. Like Wooper is an internet favorite.
It is. I saw someone, I think it got, what's the new typing for this one? Is it dark or poison?
It's poison ground type. The way I'm trying to remember is the antenna are purple and then its body is brown. I was going to mention about its design. I asked about the typing because someone mentioned on social media that its typing and its design now kind of resembles like the skull and crossbones symbol. And I was like, that is just such a good reference that they did there. And it's definitely purposeful. Like that's no accident. I didn't notice that right away. I think it's a really cool idea. Something I was thinking about is that how like the Dex entry says in ancient times Wooper lived underwater in the Paldea region.
Maybe the original Wooper is the one that lives in the water, and then because I know there's a Pokedex entry for Wooper out there that it covers itself in a poisonous like slime when it leaves the water. So someone was speculating, I think it might have been Birdkeeper Toby or someone's YouTube video about how this is the form that Wooper eventually took on when it no longer returned to the water.
Very cool.
It adapted to living on land, and this is what it was now because of that coating of poison that it put on itself.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I love it. The main thing that really stands out to me is that they're mentioning ancient times.
Yes.
So I guess the link I want to draw here is between this regional form and the Hisuian Pokemon that we know, which are they're regional forms, but they're technically like time and space forms as well, which is a little bit different, but also mirrors another leak that has not been shown to us yet. It's these paradox Pokemon, where they're essentially past and future Pokemon. So I don't know if they're like creating breadcrumbs and trying to create almost like retcon or explain how Hisuian Pokemon are different from that. We don't need to get into it if you don't want to, but I just wanted to bring it up here.
Well, I would ask one question, which is when I was watching the trailer, I mentioned in my reaction, like, so much of this was in the leaks that we've gotten over the last couple weeks. So I had heard about that Paradox leak. Did the person who put the Paradox Pokemon leak out also get some of the stuff right that was in this trailer?
Yeah, like Wooper was predicted. There was supposed to be some sort of bread dog, and that sounds ridiculous. I literally could not think of anything other than a hot dog, but we got a bread dog.
Yeah.
And then also what was leaked was like I said, a dolphin, a bipedal dolphin. That's what this is. It's the bipedal whale.
I wonder if they're teasing it. I mean, we've seen Hisuian forms in these games already. If they're in the game, there's no way they're just teasing the idea that you can bring them in via Pokemon Home. So there's going to be a way in-game through the campaign that you can acquire Hisuian Pokemon. So if all of this is wrapped together with some kind of Paradox, ancient Pokemon, future Pokemon feature, then I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, I just think it's cool, and it's like I feel like what happens is Game Freak creates some sort of like trend or a gimmick and then evolves past it, but before they can create something new, they've already altered our understanding of the original thing, and I feel like Hisuian Pokemon is somewhere in between regional forms and these like future past forms. So it's kind of confusing to me. I just wanted to air it out. Wooper is absolutely adorable, and I'm also excited to see what it's going to evolve into, because we're expecting this to evolve into not Quagsire.
I'm really happy they changed the typing, because my plan was to go with Quaxley as my starter, so now that Wooper's not a water type as well, I feel a lot better about having this regional form. So hopefully, probably won't evolve into a regional Quagsire, so I really wonder what it's going to evolve into.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's better than Sneasler. There's also a couple Pokemon here that are returning, which I think is interesting. Sawsbuck, for example, is a Pokemon that we have not seen since Generation 5. And Sawsbuck is a Pokemon that's very closely, or at least was introduced alongside Seasons.
Oh,
and
please bring Seasons back, please.
Just an idea, like
begging.
Right? Yeah, and I think it was probably unless they confirm that Seasons do exist in this game, what we're probably just going to see is that it exists in different biomes throughout the region, which makes sense. You can just do that, no problem. But the fact that it is back is one, a good thing, but then also makes you wonder, we just had Gen 4 remakes. Are we going to get a Gen 5 remake at some point? We can leave that conversation for another day. I mean, I personally was excited to see Gogoat. There was a lot of Pokemon in here that I was happy to see return, but I think it's interesting that like Gogoat was introduced as a ride Pokemon. It's probably not going to be a ride Pokemon in this game, and it's kind of disappointing that there's a lot of Pokemon that could be ridden that aren't going to be ride Pokemon.
I wonder if the only way that we're going to be able to traverse the region on top of Pokemon is Miraidon and Koraidon. I don't know if they've specified, you can correct me, on the website, if this is our only way to travel on Pokemon, is with them.
My understanding is that it is going to be the only way.
I'm disappointed in that too, mostly because it discounts a whole video that I had done, which, theories, it is what it is. But the models looked great. They looked like they were designed incredibly well for what they were doing. You can very obviously tell that they were designed with Game Freak having in mind what like the feature they were going to be part of was. So I'm very happy with how they look and how they seem to traverse the region. And I'm happy that you can still walk around the open world like on foot. You don't have to use these ride Pokemon if you don't want to, though I would imagine there's definitely parts of the map that you can only get to if you're actually riding on them. So hopefully in the end, it's a nice marriage between those two things.
I guess it can go
you can do it with multiplayer. Like everyone can be on top of these Pokemon at the same time. This really is like, it really feels like you can play the vast majority of this game co-op, which is crazy to me.
That would be a lot of fun. I mean, that's Pokemon to me has always been a single player experience, even though it's like supposed to be a co-op, like you trade and battle. Like it has always been very personal and just intimate with myself, right? But I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm actually excited. I've been hesitant. Last time we spoke, I told you I'm not excited for the co-op because I don't trust it's actually going to be fun or as fun as I would like it to be. But it is actually it's starting to look fun.
As long as there's plenty of exploration options, I think it will be. Raids in some form are coming back, so that's something that you can do in multiplayer. I just hope that that's not the only thing, because if it's running around the map and then being able to do these raids for the crystal forms, which is what I'm going to call them until I memorize the name, that feels a little light, but we'll see.
Terrestrialize.
I almost want to say it's the first one, Terrestrialize, because that sounds like it rolls off the tongue better, but I have no idea.
Okay, so I just saw you put out a crazy video about the map.
Yeah.
Do you have any quick insights for me?
Couple quick insights I would say is that the map really does make it seem like everywhere is traversable. There were a couple beaches and certain areas on the coast that I was looking at the map and I was like, okay, how can you get there? And every single one has either a cave entrance that's connected to somewhere else.
Okay.
Certain areas, there are essentially these towers that we've seen in the trailer. The really tall towers with the rings atop it.
Yeah.
They're littered about the entire region. Some are very close to each other. Others are much further off. So at one point in the video, I mentioned that we don't really know the scaling of this map to what the overworld really is going to be yet. So I'm not 100% sure how big the region really is. But one of the most interesting towers is in a desert area of the map, and the tower looks like it's been pretty much submerged by the sand. Really? It's blown pretty much halfway down. It's under a ton of sand, and it looks like it's going to be an area that's really interesting to explore. And it's one that we really haven't seen yet in the trailers.
Dude,
the only other thing I would say about the map is that big center crater with the cloud cover over it. There is no way to get in. There's no part on the map that lets you access that area. The only thing that's close is a little monitoring station, what looks like a station part of a town that kind of looks at the crater. That's the only thing. Other than that, there's no entrance to that middle crater.
Okay, well, I'm actually doing some theory crafting off the top of my head. I don't even know if I'll leave this in the video, but yes, that the middle of the map could be a lot of different things. First thing I think of, maybe that's where the climax of the game, the story is gonna be.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe that's some sort of intralink thing where it's maybe just separate. You can't really get to it, but it exists. Or I'm just thinking the proximity to Kalos. Maybe that is a crater of that weapon that they used 3,000 years ago that it shot up into the air and then flew back down. Maybe that's a massive crater and is essentially that's where the bomb dropped or whatever.
I'm glad that everyone is using the word crater for it, because that's what came to my mind first. It could just be a mountain feature, but it looks like a crater.
No,
it looks like something,
especially with the clouds.
It looks like something slammed into there, and we don't know what yet. But the ultimate weapon is that's a good theory. It could be something along those lines. If it was created by something man-made, like the ultimate weapon. If it didn't come from space, and we're not dealing with some kind of extraterrestrial nonsense here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So I guess now I'm also thinking maybe. Because we don't actually have a third legendary. No one's been speaking about a third legendary. I'll tell you this much: there's no information from the leaks about a third legendary. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know what the final threat's gonna be.
I will say one thing. It's interesting that the two parts of the map that are completely covered up by clouds, it's that center crater, and then it's the northeast, where you would assume, if modern geography holds, is where it would connect to the Kalos region. Those are the only two parts of the map that are covered away. And that's a little curious to me.
So I want to ask you, do you think this has been debunked? Do you think it's still possible that we get some parts of the map that are only representative in version exclusive games in the past or in the future? You're talking about the desert where it looks like it swallowed up that tower. I don't know. Do you think it's been debunked that there could be a version in that in Scarlet in the past where the tower is not submerged, right, and it's still accessible, and vice versa? I mean, I don't know.
I think the version exclusive nature of that theory is debunked because of the map. But I don't think it's impossible to say that we're going to be able to get a glimpse into the past and the future in these games and see alternate versions of the region. So this is simply the way the region looks in the present day.
True.
And maybe in Scarlet and Violet, we can see different things if that does end up happening.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But I'd be willing to bet money that this map is modern Paldea.
One of my favorite games growing up was Mega Man Battle Network. Mm-hmm. And I love the concept of having a real life world and a map that you traversal, and then when you go into the internet, when you become the digital version of yourself, there's another hidden map that is just as big, just as sprawling. I think of like 2 layered maps on top of each other, and in this game, it could be possible that we have the current day map with a past and a future that are kind of overlapping, and you can only access them through the certain games. But that's a lot of speculation.
It's a lot of speculation, but we've also seen it in Nintendo games. There's a version of Hyrule in one of the Legend of Zelda games, Lorule. That's an alternate version. So Nintendo's has tipped their toe in this water before, and I mean, just because they put out one map doesn't mean this is everything. Yeah. Like as we've seen, they have been very intentional up to this point with Scarlet and Violet in how much they show us.
And I wasn't even thinking of Lorule, but Ocarina of Time is the classic example. So we did get some new characters, and I have not reviewed these yet. You want to just run through them real quick?
We can run through them, yeah. I know one of them was a gym leader, some people in the school. That's pretty much what I can recall from them.
I feel like the character design overall has been really strong. We've got this character, Clavel. This is going to be the director of the academy, and they'll teach you many things as you go through the region. And there's this whole treasure hunt in Paldea that they keep talking about.
That's the big theme of everything. There was a cutscene that they showed in the trailer of your trainer character with all of these other students. And he's basically instructing us to go out and survey and traverse the region, and it's this big treasure thing. And they seem in the trailer to link the idea of treasure to the crystallizing phenomenon. Yeah. So if I had, I don't know how on the up and up this school will end up being at the end of the story. And in the event that it's not, I'd be willing to bet they're trying to use these crystals for something.
What do you think the 3 main plots are going to be? I mean, one is obviously the treasure hunt. One is the gym battle. They've said that much. And then what would the other one be? Would it be... it's got to be something very specific. Could it be completing the Pokedex?
I don't think so. The Pokedex feels like it's going to be something separate. I think you're right on the fact that obviously they said gym battles is 1. The treasure hunt is 2. Third one? I'm not sure.
I see the treasure hunt as the main story, essentially. Right? Like, that's where things are going to be found out. You find the crystals, then you find maybe that's how the evil team gets involved. Maybe that third thing. Someone had made a great video today about the idea was that there could be contests, right? A third way to interact with your Pokemon, whether it's contests or festivals, or what was it called in Unova? Anyways, that could be something as well.
I would say it's definitely going to be something that has to do with you interacting with your Pokemon, because let's settle on the idea that the treasure hunt is for these crystals that let you change your Pokemon. That's a way that you interact with your Pokemon. Obviously, the gym challenge is raising and training your Pokemon for battle. So 2 of 3 have to do with something impacting your Pokemon. Okay. Could the third, storyline or third activity have something to do with those paradox Pokemon that you mentioned before? It's entirely possible, I think.
Yeah, I think of it like there's story, battle, and aesthetic.
Yep.
Maybe that's what it could be. So we have the director of the school, Clavel, and I like seeing these characters. I feel like they're very fleshed out.
I will add, designs. I absolutely love all of the designs we've gotten. It's funny that the main player character is like the worst design in this game. It really is up to this point.
And they want to make it neutral, so you can you can add your own personality to it.
I want to commend Pokemon because of the modern games. They have pretty much every single generation, every game like Legends Arceus have knocked it out of the park with character design.
Even you go back to like Gen 2 and 3. I feel like Gen 3 has some amazing designs.
They do.
Okay, so then we have Jock. I think it's pronounced or Jocks. It's like I don't know. He's your homeroom teacher. He's got messy hair. He's got glasses. He looks friendly and approachable.
I've seen a couple people mention that he looks strikingly similar to Adaman from Legends Arceus.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, because there were a lot of characters in Legends Arceus that like didn't line up with anyone, and people were like, okay, so are they gonna hint at this in the future games? That's really cool. I like that a lot. So this guy's gonna give you your Rotom phone. So we're just gonna continue with the Rotom phone. I think that makes sense. There's another character named Arvin. He's another rival next to Nomona. This guy, I think he's an upperclassman at the academy, and he'll ask you for help. I think his main focus is that he's like a cook.
Yes. Yep.
And then we also have Penny. She's like one of us. She's like an internet nerd. She likes her bag, her fluffy Eevee bag. Oh, yeah, it says she's a shy person, and she's in the same grade as you in the academy.
We did also get a gym leader, I believe. We got one.
The person's name is Glaciado. That was not right. Glaciado.
Ice-type gym leader.
Glaciado? Yeah.
Something like that. They always have some kind of name that directly relates to the type they use.
I tried so hard. And it has Satitan. Satitan is such a cool Pokemon. I really do love it so much. Every time I see it, it feels like a Gen 1 Pokemon. It's like massive. It's a monster. It's weird. You can't really quite put a place where it's based off of.
If it wasn't a whale, it would give me like a strange combination of Donphan and Duraludon. That's like the combo I'm thinking of when I look at it, but also like part narwhal. And it's very strange.
When I saw it, I thought it looked like Togekiss.
It does a little bit too. The color scheme is very close.
It's like the masculine or like the tough guy Togekiss. I don't know. It's cool. It's like a giant blimp. But this person is an ice-type gym, or runs the ice-type gym in Paldea. And oh no, I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. The location is in Glaciado. That's a town. Glaciado is a town. And then the gym leader's name is Grusha.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly where that town is. It's right at the top of the biggest mountain to the north in the region.
What's really cool is that this person is a snowboarder, which I like that. We've seen, that's been a trainer class.
There was a part of the map that I speculated looked like they could have been slopes. So if the fact that he's a snowboarder,
that has to be it.
There's definitely some ski slope and snowboarding area on the map that we're gonna get to see.
So the type of character that we have not seen yet is an evil team. We don't know the evil team. This is one of those things where we were talking, like I think it was you, like we thought the evil teams would be shown, and they totally were not. We don't know nothing about them. Nothing.
The only thing in the trailer that I've seen some people speculate could have something to do with the evil team is that big car, like that Hot Wheels looking tricked out vehicle that we saw.
There was a trainer
the only thing.
Who was like she was spray painting, and I would love if that was like the evil team. If they're like I think of it like art, and art is tied to history, right? Past, future, history. So I'm like, I don't know. It's like leave your mark on history. That's what I think of.
The only reason I would
be a trainer class.
It could be. I was gonna guess probably a brand new trainer class, only because if the evil team is like a graffiti art kind of aesthetic, that feels a little bit too close to Team Yell's like punk rocker aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which they might shy away from, but the fact that if it's a new trainer class, that's great too.
Yeah. No, they're cool, and I guess I think also whenever they reveal the evil team, it's probably also going to link to the professors, right? Like, because that's the big theory that the professors are one of them is going to be on the evil team or using their science or their knowledge in their ideology to affect and lead one of the evil teams. Do you have any predictions on what the teams might be or what they might be about?
I'm curious. Pirates. Yeah, I'm curious to know if they're going to continue with this trend they've done recently of having the overtly goofy evil team and then having like the legitimate threat. So we saw that with Team Skull and the Aether Foundation. We saw that with Team Yell and Chairman Rose and the employees of Macros, Cosmos, whatever the name of the company was. So this has been 2 generations now where you've kind of had like a smokescreen evil team and then the real threat. If the professors are evil, then I have a feeling that it's the smokescreen threat concept again, and they're going to be revealed at the end.
And it doesn't need to be two separate teams. What it could be is just like the threat is a threat. It's just like the person that you were warming up to ended up actually being, part of the threat, and they could do a good job. They could do an actual good job. Unlike, I feel like what's his name, Lusamine in Team Flare was an awful trick. I knew he was evil from day one.
Yeah, even from the trailers, you could tell that there was something up with them. And in fairness, I think when people saw Chairman Rose for the first time in the Sword and Shield release cycle, people looked at him like, you're a little suspicious.
People were saying that Clavel was gonna be evil, and I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on him.
I'm neutral on him. If Clavel was evil, that feels way too close to Rose. Yeah. Rose was like the head of the big theme of the game, which was the gym challenge. Clavel is the head of the academy that is at the center of what you're embarking on in these games. It just feels a little too one for one there. So I don't think Clavel will end up being evil.
So I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and he does have all 6 Premier Balls on out and displayed. And I think in canon, typically it's like powerful trainers can actually wield 6 Pokemon or more. Where if you're not that good of a trainer, it's only just a couple that you're able to harness and befriend and train. So that might be a red flag.
Maybe.
I honestly was really struck positively by the graphics overall and the overall presentation of the game. The last trailer that we got was kind of mid. It looked almost like it looked like a downgrade from the original reveal trailer for Scarlet and Violet. And there were so many beautiful scenic shots, especially when we got to see our Pokemon out in the overworld, just like we saw in Legends Arceus, our entire team, right? It's like Pokemon Camp, but in the overworld. And that, I don't know, I'm really actually looking forward to playing this now. To play it, not just to talk about it, but to play it.
We've seen in every, I want to say in every trailer, definitely the last 2, Pokemon out of their Pokeball for some portion of the game. And they've shown enough of it to this point that it almost feels like walking Pokemon exist. You can take your Pokemon out of your Pokeballs when you please. We've seen the starters follow you.
Yeah. And and to the credit, those starting Pokemon, those clips, they follow you in Let's Go, where it's not right behind you, but it's off to the side. It looks dynamic.
Yep. So my question would be, they continue to tease this. You're at least going to be able to take your Pokemon out in the overworld. They even, at one point in the trailer, showed off an evolution in the overworld. So there's no more evolution screen. The Pokemon evolves in front of you physically out in the open.
What? Wait, where did we see that?
It was in the trailer.
I didn't see that. That's crazy.
So it still shows off the sparkles and everything, but it happens physically out in the open. So your Pokemon's going to be out of its Pokeball, evolving. So everything is so seamless. Yeah. They're really pushing the open world idea, and this trailer, I agree with you. It feels like more of a game than just a tech demo.
Yeah.
And it looks more and more polished every time we've seen it. I am really excited to play this game.
Dude, and maybe that's why they took so long to actually give us information, that they were really just trying to perfect it. We talked about the gimmick, right? Overall, how do you think this is going to play out? The actual gimmick of Terrastellize. I said it right.
I really like everything about this gimmick except how it looks. I'm not 100% there on the aesthetic of the gemstone on top of the Pokemon. Everything about the concept on paper, I love. The fact that, first of all, I think the most exciting part about it was that different Pokemon can have different Terra forms that you have to go out into the wild and catch. So just think about the implications of that. Not only is it going to be harder to get every single Pokemon now if you're looking for a complete Pokedex, but you're going to be able to shiny hunt Terra Pokemon with different types. So if you want, they didn't reveal this, but it's an easy Pokemon to use as an example. If you had a Terra Pidgey that was a fire type, and you wanted a shiny fire Terra Pidgey, well, there's also the chance that you have an ice type Terra Pidgey. So there's no guarantees on what you get, which just makes it opens up a whole new avenue of shiny hunting. It opens up more customization between everybody's adventure.
That's the word right there.
I love everything about the feature. I'm sure the aesthetics will grow on me. And if Onix doesn't get a crystal form, if Onix is cut from this Pokedex, we're gonna have a problem.
It is crazy that like it's not just once or twice, but like literally everything from the anime, every weird thing that happened to a Pokemon in the original anime is like actually being turned into a feature.
Here's the best thing I saw of the feature. Drifblim in the trailer was a fire type, and it is 100% a direct reference to the fact that Flint used a Drifblim in the Elite Four in Diamond and Pearl, and it wasn't a fire type, and he was a fire type Elite Four member, and now Drifblim has a fire type. Like the fact that they remembered that and added it in, I love this feature.
That must be like one person. Like she's just like she's at Game Freak. She's like, this is what like my job is to just look at like fun facts.
She's basically like the holder of the canon. Like,
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
She's got like the Bible of Pokemon, all the features.
She's holding the Bible like right here. This is what happened then. You have to abide by this. I love that so much. I totally agree with you. I think the crown on the head is fine. The ornament is the stupidest thing.
It's gonna take some getting used to. I'm sure by the time the game comes out, I'll be indifferent to it. But right now, I don't love how it looks.
I feel like they could have just done a cloud over the head or like an aura.
They could have just crystallized the Pokemon how they do.
Yeah, that makes sense because then you essentially have like a shiny Pokemon. Yeah, what's that gonna look like? A shiny crystal form, right? Like, is that gonna change even further? That's really
I'd be willing to bet it changes a little bit. Different color crystals.
Yeah, my like other cynical part of me is like Gigantamax was a reference to Pokemon Go, right? And they continued the raids into this game, but also like the crowns in the Terrestrialize. Am I saying that right?
It must be Terrestrialize. It's gotta be.
The Terrestrialize could be on any Pokemon, and they look like costumes. And in Pokemon Go, that's what they do. They roll out costumes.
They've rolled it out in Unite as well.
Exactly. So like these are essentially costumes for they can like put that in Go, and it's like every week there's a new form, but it's a Terra form.
It also reminds me of what was you have a Pokemon card channel. What's the name of those different forms of Pokemon that there are in some of the older like Gen 3 cards? No, there was like
the Delta species.
Delta species. It gave me like Delta species vibes as well because the type change.
Yeah, as soon as 100%. We were theorizing about that, and it's essentially true. It's like you're giving Pokemon new types based on this new phenomenon. It is interesting. It's gonna be fun to play the game. I think the crown is just a little silly, and it doesn't feel natural. It feels like Rillaboom's drum, or it feels like right, like or like Alakazam's spoons. It's like you weren't born with the spoons.
They did a good job making it not as intrusive as some gimmicks have been in the past, while also making it something that every Pokemon can have, which I like. I like when that happens. I liked the fact that every Pokemon could Dynamax. And even though there were some exclusive Pokemon that got G-Max forms, you could still use that battle gimmick. And it also brings up some interesting implications for move effectiveness based on the type of the Pokemon. Like, is a water type Pokemon that gets a fire type Terraform, is it still going to have water type moves?
Yeah,
that's a little strange.
I think it can also have defensive capabilities. I don't know if we know yet, like if it adds a third type or if it replaces a type, but it's gotta just like replace a type. Or
I would be willing to bet it replaces.
Yeah, I don't think there's no way they're gonna allow it to stack, because if you have that like those 3 types that line up and all of a sudden a damaging move does like 12 times damage or something, whatever it is, right? Because it's triple effective. Like that would be ridiculous.
You mentioned the other thing that I wanted to hit on. You sent it as well. Was the Pokedex? Pokedex looks like so different from the way it usually looks.
It's wooden, right?
It's wooden. It's got like little, like almost like album covers for every single Pokemon.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like a screenshot of it in the overworld. I like it. It's very different. It's very clean. It looks like you can switch.
You know what this is?
It's very nice.
Those album covers. There's like squares, so like Instagram squares. What those are is we are actually going to take photos in the overworld of our Pokemon, like in Pokemon Snap, and that's how we have to fill it in. That's what I think, because it's an open world game, right? You can capture the Pokemon, right? So like, how do you do this? You either take a photo of it up close, or you capture it, and then you're able to take a photo of it up close. Because once you capture it, it's like it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Because there is a scene, I'm pretty sure, where it shows your trainer taking selfies in the co-op mode.
It does, yeah.
So that's what I think that this is. Or those are just pre-rendered photos. But
that's also possible.
But I think that would be really cool for longevity purposes, because that's essentially that's what a Pokedex is, right? You're cataloging what you've seen. And you're usually not able to get all of the data until you've captured the Pokemon, right?
And it would provide, I don't think the Pokedex is going to be as complex to complete as in Legends Arceus, but it would provide that little extra bit of completionist to it. And not only do you have to catch the Pokemon, see the Pokemon, but you have to take a picture of it.
Paldea is very close to Kalos, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions and say like, we're gonna have access through DLC. Like, we don't need to jump to that conclusion. I have jumped to that conclusion, but mainly what I'm thinking of is how there are 3 regions in Kalos, and so the Dex is split up into 3 sections. I'm wondering if, the map doesn't suggest anything, but I wonder if there could be a similar thing here where there are categories of locations and the map is broken up that way. Because it would be more. We even saw that in Legends. Honestly, we saw that in Legends too.
I have a feeling the Pokedex is gonna be split up based on the map. It looks a little bit like when you do a deep dive on the map that there are. While everything is connected through pathways or bridges, there are very obvious sections of the map. So there's that first southern plains area, which looks like your starting out area. There's the snowy region to the north. There's a more advanced hilly plains area to the west. It looks as if everything is split up a little bit. So I can definitely see the Pokedex being split into different regions, just like how it is in Kalos.
That's true, yeah. I'm looking at the big snowy mountains. We're actually going to have to traverse that. And do you think the traversal is going to be like Breath of the Wild, where you can go everywhere, but it's going to be very difficult if you don't have the right... Like, it's possible, but it's like very difficult, or you won't survive very long. I don't think your character... This isn't Legends. You're not going to die.
I don't think it's going to be an adventure. I don't think it's going to be a survival RPG like that. My question is, how does Koraidon and Miraidon work? Do you have access to all of their abilities right off? When do you get them? That's my big question right now. Because that'll tell me a lot about where you can come and go in the region, depending on where you are in the game.
Man, there really are so many cool areas of the map. I'm just looking at it. There's like there's a beach area, and there's like a volcano area, massive snow. I really wonder what that is. That island is in the middle. Okay, is the crater in the middle of the map? Is that where you have those terrestrialized battles, the raid battles? Is that where you have the raid battles? Because it shows them like in this, like, I guess it would be a cavern, but it shows you deep in this area where there's like mirrors, and then the Pokemon that you're fighting is like reflected to make it look a lot bigger.
Maybe the crater has to do with how the terrestrializing originally happened. Maybe whatever created these crystals that allow Pokemon to change forms crashed into the region, and it was spread across the region on impact.
Yeah.
That could be that honestly could be very close to what it ends up being.
You know what's, it's probably irrelevant, but there's so many areas, like significant, or locations that I'm assuming are significant because of their proximity to the crater. Like the school's literally right there across the border. Okay, I'll hit you with this final question. We are likely to get DLC. What do you think is going to happen to DLC?
If we get DLC, I think it's going to be to the northeast where that cloud cover is. It's going to be an area to explore that is further north than Paldea. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Kalos, but I think they're going to be references to Kalos.
Yeah, that makes sense. People have also brought up to me that there's a lot of islands, Mediterranean islands, all around Spain and Portugal. So
they could open up islands as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we could get.
I'm so curious about those clouds to the northeast, because it is very clearly covering up landmass that's at least present. You can see other mountains. You can see other grassy areas right under them. So what is it? Is it going to be one of those things where it's a reference to Kalos and people mention that Kalos is close and that's all we get? Or are we eventually going to get to see what's there?
Yeah.
Honestly, with Pokemon, you could flip a coin.
Yeah, there have always been clouds on regional maps, but this one specifically, I feel like I can like look under, like I can just like look and see right underneath it. There's some sort of tree or cliff or, oh man. I'm really hoping we get more trailers a little bit more frequently, because there's a lot of stuff that they, like, I believe the leakers now. I like 100% believe the leakers. Like this is confirming it. And there is so much info that they could tell us. They don't even need to tell us all of it, but like there is plenty to go around. Thank you for coming on the channel. Great to see your face.
No problem. Happy to do it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pressure you into doing some more videos now. Where can the people find you?
You can find me youtube.com/Linky or @LinkyYT on every other social media channel.
Yeah, man. Everything will be linked in the description. All right. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Now I want to hear what you think down in the comments below. And if you're still watching, hit that like button and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck hunting.